Greetings, gods and goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara. All relations. Every single day we keep getting better and better. I'm looking like the Vitruvian man today. So let's get started. Every single day we keep winning. Every single day there's evolutions happening. And we just keep hopping timelines so fast, man. Right? We keep hopping timelines so dang fast. We're way too fast for these spiritual communities. We're going at light speed, and this is definitely a powerful concept right now that I want you to really look into, which is psychic influence. Okay, we're going to be talking about this today, and it's going to be incredible. All right, let me switch over. Okay, now I can see the live chat. Sweet. What's up, guys? Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So yesterday I was looking at this book by Neville Goddard. It's a really old book called Eternal States. And there I just took a few notes from that. So I want to go through that before I dive into the lesson. So first and foremost, he was talking about it's like Jordan in the Bible is described as the edge of our reality. So every day you wake up at the edge of Jordan, right? But it's a river of consciousness, not water. Hey there, babe. So to cross it is to assume the state of the desire fulfilled. And every day we're given a sacred opportunity to step out of the bondage and into the promised land of our own imaginings. Okay. So the Primal Sutra translation of this is that Jordan is the threshold, right? Not just the place, but it's used as an analogy in this book, right? So it's like the boundary between your current reality and the one that you've been called to step into. So every time that you hit a resistance or a limit or doubt or fear, you're actually standing at your edge. Okay. It's a daily portal that we have to walk through. So starting the day by identifying your edge and then stepping into that state you desire before doing anything else, right? Like a morning crossing over in a sense, okay? Where you can't leap into a reality where you don't understand it. Like you can't reap this fruit of a state that you're not in, right? So every state exists eternally. You must occupy it, he said. So the echoes of frequency resonance model, we call this the frequency resonance model, or at least that's how I read it through the eyes of my spirit guide. So it might sound a little bit different than how Neville Goddard is actually wording it. But you don't fix the person, you shift their state, right? You guide them through imagined rituals, breath, posture, visualization, so that you can inhabit a higher frequency bandwidth. So the law is conditioned and the promise is grace. So the law is yours to work with, right? The promise is God's gift, he said. So to master this law, the energetic and imaginal technology of manifestation flow and inner alchemy, the promise is that source reunion, right? The Christ awakening, and that's spontaneous and it's sacred. Champ Pack, what's good, Samba? So in this book, as I was going through it, he also said, when you say I am, you are calling the name of God, he said. So I am is not a statement, it's actually a command key, right? It's how you shift timelines. So if you say, I am abundance, I am radiance, I am free, they're not affirmations in that sense, they're activations. Because when you speak your I am identity daily before taking action, and you infuse it with breath, posture, will, almost like a daily yoga, right? We call it deity yoga or character yoga, where we merge into the archetype and the character that we truly prefer and want, right? Inspired by Vajrayana's deity yoga, okay? Or guru yoga. So if we can understand this Jesus energy being our imaginations, and the only being who can cross the Jordan is our imaginative awareness. So imagination is the sacred blade of the inner warrior as it cuts through the veil, right? It is the Shiva of Shakti. It is the active visioning, not the fantasy, but like a spiritual warfare that's taking place, right? And like any art, it requires persistent discipline application, right? There are no shortcuts to this. So peak performance and flow state mastery aren't just inspiration, they're rhythm, repetition, discipline. You must ritualize the act of entering a state. And of course, practice makes the supernatural natural, okay? So it's your job to train statefulness until it becomes your identity, essentially, okay? Everyone is in a state. They're not good or evil, they're in a state. They're only occupying a state. So they're just in the sleep of states, most people. So this is an empathetic hack for shadow work. The villain, the victim, the genius, the addict, these are all just states. And once you shift the states, you shift the person. So when you see others not as broken or misaligned, you hold them in a new state with your new vision, with your inner vision, right? So whatever the role, what was the quote? Whatever the soul of your foot treads, I have given it to you. So translation is, wherever your understanding rests, reality follows. So this is not just about action, but cognitive occupation. Okay, so visualizing success, walking it, feeling it, embodying it, and so forth. Okay, let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of this, because I think we have we have 2 people here. Let's wait for a few more people then. Okay, wait until we really get into it. Okay, but every time you dwell on a past screw up is like a broken record player in your mind, right? You're reinfecting yourself and you're rehearsing the trauma. You're reactivating an old timeline and you're bathing in your own energetic backwash. So stop trying to find your power inside the poop pit, right? Instead, you design the version of you who's already got the sauce. And you look at the chaos through that lens, right? Seeing through, super consciousness, God vision, not a goblin filter, okay? People ask me, why do I wear sunglasses during these transmissions? It helps me go inwards. It helps me channel. I can just close my eyes and I see absolute darkness, and I'm also seeing through a filter, a lens, right, at the camera and so forth. So it helps me to take my internal imagination and inner world and give you the transmission outside. If I open my eyes, which I can do that, but then there's light. There's a lot of light coming from outside. There's a lot of light here, light there, and that's going to distract me and put me out of my state. So this is kind of like an eye mask type of thing. Allows me to look at the chaos through the lens, okay? This is why I wear sunglasses. Next, I spend 10 minutes a day minimum or 90 minutes a few times a week, no excuses, tapping into the zone, okay? And if you're not training the new self, it's like a sacred gym. Don't expect results there, right? This is flow sadhana, 10 minutes minimum, you lock it in, right? And your future self isn't going to emerge from just good intentions. It's going to emerge from ritual repetition and emotional voltage at the same time. You got to combine those, right? And Neville said it, right? Makara is now saying it. Rehearsal equals reality. So whatever your mind rehearses, your life repeats, okay? Second, guys. Just replying to somebody. All right. Busy man, busy day. Okay, let's get it. You're reprogramming yourself for disaster if you are spiritually having weird things in your imagination and you're calling it healing. You got to imagine the wind, tread on the victory, breathe that into your life, right? So you wake up at the banks of your own limitation. Are you going to serve the gods of your trauma or the vision beyond the veil? Because you're not a victim of your past anymore. You're a time traveling shaman who forgot your wand's name was I am. So the samskar hack is what you feed with emotion, breath, and story, you loop. So cut the cord. Don't spiritually recycle garbage and call it insight. Unlink, rewire, reinforce the divine repetition instead, right? Learned helplessness. To who am I replying? Oh, it's just a client, babe. Who are you talking to, right? Besides me. I love my babe. She's so sassy. So we're visualizing a new self and we're forgiving the past by outgrowing it. Okay. Are we getting this? And that weird fear, sudden sadness, it might not be from within you at all. You may be picking up distant psychic influences, energy being projected into your own field from miles away, right? So this isn't paranoia. It's actually a bioenergetic literacy. Okay. Your intrusive thoughts might not even be your own. So don't claim it. Okay. The mind is the astral plane's paintbrush. So visualizing someone clearly can establish a psychic rapport just as strong as if they were physically in front of you. This is how energy workers call in clients or even send healing across timelines. Okay. Yesterday, I noticed there were some bad intentions coming at me. I felt it in my nervous system. And I'd listened to this little sound file, which reverses and resends it back to the individual. So like a return to sender file. I immediately felt a cleansing, right? My software upgrading or something. Okay, so just know this belief in your psychic immunity is your strongest protection. Okay, fear creates openings. Doubt amplifies the signal. This is how curses land and how suggestions stick. This is why most bewitched people are also the most terrified ones. Okay, guys? We getting this? All right. We got 3 people watching. What's going on? Have you experienced this before? An astral tube is an energetic tunnel built via visualization that acts as a clairvoyant telegraph line. And you literally create a tunnel through subtle matter and observe and influence it at a distance, right? So the ancient sorcerers knew this. Now we're learning to wield it scientifically too nowadays. So witchcraft, what we do is very different than witchcraft. It's wavecraft, right? It's very different. But witchcraft was just directed focus plus fear loops, right? Wax dolls, voodoo dolls, they aren't supernatural. They're visual props to lock the imagination and direct the energy, right? You add the scared target equals instant psychic rapport equals energetic disruption of their field. Simple, effective, dangerous though if misused. So don't just jump into this without even understanding what you're doing, right? Denial is like a psychic firewall. If you're like, I deny this influence, I'm immune to this, I return it back to the sender. And you say it with force, not a mantra. You say it with force. It's a command to your own aura because energy obeys commands, not negotiations. You don't sit at a negotiation table trying to change your energy around. You command it. Boom. Right? You can program others, but should you? Because visualizing someone complying with will works, whether for healing or for selfish gain. The technology is neutral, and the intent is not karma. Okay? So using this for manipulation just opens you up to astral backlash, karmic loops, energetic entanglement. It ain't worth it, right? It ain't worth it. Brother felt that today when I made a TikTok video that hit the algorithm. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Sometimes that happens, man, and it happens sometimes so sporadically, right? You can't really plan that out like it's going to be one of those videos today, right? It just happens. So, yeah, man, like some manifestation coaches, sales gurus, NLP hustlers out there are unknowingly doing black magic because they teach how to psychically pressure clients or, implant desires in their minds for control. So if it bypasses consent, it's sorcery, not strategy. Are we getting this, guys? So your aura is programmable. The mind, breath, emotion is your programming tool. And what you rehearse becomes your reality. What you fear, you're feeding. What you declare with presence, you become. This is the real law of attraction without the fluff, right? You can walk into a city of curses, spells, and collective grief and still remain untouchable. Why? Because you know the game and you've chosen your chant. You're no longer passive. You're broadcasting from source. Now, would be very, very cautious if you are if you have psychic senses and if you are like a little bit sensitive to energies, be very, very careful of walking into crowded places, walking into hospitals. For instance, I heard this one lady on an interview who had walked into the Louvre. The Louvre is the French museum, right? And she heard all of the dead souls there screaming and wailing still, and it freaked her out, right? So this stuff can happen to individuals too. So I want you to remain very cognizant, sharp when you do these processes, okay? Don't do it in a, like, I know we emphasize being in trance state, but you want to remain in control while you're in a flow state, trance state. That's what makes you a sovereign in this game, psychic sovereignty. It's not superstition, it's survival. So you train your mind, you command your energy, you visualize with integrity, or you be shaped by those that do this already. So every thought you send out is a vibration, but most people just spray them like a buckshot, right? Masters send them like sniper rounds. Ordinary minds just radiate a bunch of noise. But trained adepts direct their thought vibration like a laser guided arrow, right? That's real telepathic vision. It's not the passive transmission anymore. It's intentional, a focused broadcasting of energetic frequency with will. When the line is open, even strangers will act as if they've known you for years. Once the astral tube or the psychic line is formed, you create an energetic back channel of familiarity. So this isn't just I'm just influencing someone. No, you're tuning into their nervous system's frequency and embedding presence before words are even exchanged. A long tunnel of psychic rapport comes with practice. Think of an astral telescope or an umbilical light cord, right? You don't just send energy, you build a psychic corridor, whether through visualization, clairvoyance, or dream space. Your mind forms a conscious astral link between you and the other. And the more clearly you form it, the stronger the impact. Okay? Your opinions might not even be yours. Have you thought of that? Right? Your thought waves like are being shaped by mobs, by moods, by minds, by others. So most people live in a second-hand frequency. They'll absorb the dominant field that they're tuning into and call it their own intuition. But unless you're protecting your signal, you're picking up ambient psychic radio from your neighbors, from crowds, from media, from generational belief systems, right? I'd walked past some kind of a road here. This was like a few weeks ago. I noticed like a rush of just bad energy in that whole area. And I knew that there was something going on there, right? I didn't need like a psychic sales training degree to realize that, right? It didn't feel well. Okay. So this is why if you don't consciously hold your focus, someone else can hijack it. Your environment is full of influencers, man. Some conscious, some unconscious. And without trained focus, your mind becomes a receptacle for their energetic leftovers. So flow state equals sovereignty. Scattered attention equals psychic submission. So this is why we work on being really sharp, intentional, right? We can't always be sharp all the time. We need to rest and we need breaks and we need to figure out our own energy systems at the same time. But we got to understand that our minds are dialing into many radio stations at once, and we have to be the laser. We have to become the laser beam, right? Stillness is actually the gateway. So lie down and relax, become like a wet cloth, that then project with a steady, calm will. The more passive and relaxed you are, the more focused your projection will be. This is the paradox of flow state, right? Soft is strong, tension leaks energy, relaxation is the launch pad into psychic resonance. So this isn't just about controlling others. It's about learning how to control your own signal so deeply that the universe itself starts aligning with you. Now, you don't need to manipulate. You need to broadcast from your deepest truth, right? The psychic being doesn't just hijack your life. It suddenly steers it through inner nudges, synchronicities, and shifts in resonance. So in most people, it's hidden under the static of the mind, body, spirit, life complex, right? But it never stops radiating. The bright light they want to attack, learning to be prepared. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can be sick, broke, heartbroken, and still feel an inexplicable peace, glow, and love toward all. That's when the psychic being is in front. You see, the ordinary pleasure then becomes conditional. Psychic well-being is rooted in our soul presence. So mental clarity, good, vital goodwill, emotional peace, physical health and vibrancy, a feeling that all is well, even if it isn't, right? That's an inner leadership current. And when the soul drives the ship, every layer starts to harmonize. Oh, yeah, right? Oh, yeah. Because their psychic being being pulled from there, whether they come to serve, they seek God or surrender, whether their psychic is in front or not, they feel peace, they feel progress, they feel glow and goodness and everything. Why do some people feel instantly at home in high vibrational spaces? This is a primal honeymoon phase of a true spiritual environment, right? But this openness must be maintained or it fades. Without psychic openness, you slide back into mental noise, emotional agitation, physical heaviness. Peace is not a gift you get, it's a state you allow. If your soul's voice gets buried under ego survival, you'll lose that sense of wholeness, but it's always there. It's just waiting for you. Okay? It's just waiting for you. So you don't need more control, you need more contact. When your soul takes the wheel, your chaos turns to compass. Okay? So the real vibe is don't chase the happiness, clear the static, and let the hidden psychic speak. Okay? So psychic influence is not new age hype. It's very ancient and it's very global, right? Of course, you have from African voodoo to biblical miracles to, modern hypnosis. It's the same principle that reappears in every single era. One mind can affect another mind through suggestion, through presence, through directed will. Even scientists call it superstition, but occultists know better. It's real, it's primal, it's dangerous when misused. We know it, right? Black magic only works on the ignorant. The average person doesn't believe in their own inner power. You guys get that? So they're vulnerable to the fragmented occult knowledge of the selfish. But one who knows their place in nature, who has tasted the I am and commands their instinctive mind, is immune. Nothing sticks to a soul that stands in sovereignty, guys. So all forms, suggestion, mesmeric charm, hypnosis, okay, charisma, these are variations of the same force. Mind over will over will. But here's the kicker. It never works through intellect. It works by bypassing intellect, okay? By embedding itself in the instinctive mind. The subconscious layer we share as animals. Most people are human sheep and easily led. And that's not because we're stupid, but because most people have never activated that I consciousness, that I am. They wait for someone else to tell them what to do, right? They lean on an authority figure and they soak up suggestions like a sponge, and then they reject their own inner leadership. So the more someone feels their inner I am, the less they can be controlled, and the more they command the field. Okay? Leaders radiate because they embody the I am. So you don't need to be smart to influence. You need awareness of your power. This is why some uneducated mystics dominate rooms, while learned professors can't even sway a soul, right? And they're like, why aren't people paying attention to me, right? I put down all the statistics. I have this incredible lab report showing all of the results. Where's the self-confidence, though, right? Because self-confidence, I believe, and true core confidence, not like the fake stuff, right? It's a symptom of soul contact. So are you sure you want this? Is this really what you want? It's a covert energetic implant. Suggestion skips reason. It enters the instinctive mind, especially if you're tired, distracted, or passive. Every thought you have sends out a ripple. Most bounce off others unless the receiver is unguarded, uncentered, or deeply resonant with that thought. That's when influence takes root. You guys get that? The real power is the concentrated mental image and the prana behind it. No one can curse you unless you give their curse a home in your own mind with your belief systems. Once you assert, I am the master of my own mind, I deny your power over me, right? The vibration bounces back, and even sharing this lesson will raise your frequency enough to deflect a weak psychic noise, okay? Hypnosis isn't magic. It's a pranic charged thought form bathed in mesmeric energy, targeting your instinctive mind while you're so relaxed and vulnerable, right? So the prana, the energy, the life force is what makes it stick. Don't seek this knowledge to control others. Seek it to break free from being controlled, right? Never be played again, as I've said. You're not just speaking to a person, you're speaking to a person's inner council, right? You're speaking to their inner council of guides. One part is alert, another part of them is soft, suggestible, loyal, lazy, right? Every mind is a business with two brothers running it, kind of like myself and Ryan G, right? Every mind is a Zoom and a Ryan G, right? You have the active brother, then the passive brother, who's storehouse manager and the gatekeeper, right? And it's like your job is to get past the guard and whisper to the one holding the keys to the vault. So suggestion isn't about logic. It's about rhythm, confidence, repetition. And the thing is, you already know this, right? The more something it's repeated, the more it's believed. The more it's believed, the more it's lived. Every yes begins a seed that's whispered to past the intellect and into the subconscious soil. So don't just say things, transmit things. Confident gaze, calm tone, clear vision. These shoot straight line thought waves that pierce through the mental fog, right? Scattershot vibes equals scattershot results. Laser-like mental focus equals psychic penetration, right? So success doesn't start with learning the technique. It starts with believing you're the one who can pull it off. A master and his emissary, says Anthony, right? Like a boy who can't swim until he stops doubting. You already know how to influence. You just forgot. Every deal, every pitch, every sale is a ritual of seduction. Don't come with desperation, come with certainty. Speak to the active mind, but aim at the passive one. Make your presence memorable. Then let the idea germinate while you're gone. So sharpen your edge, practice presence, train your will like a blade, and imagine the passive mind as clay. Your tone, your gaze, your conviction are the potter's hands shifting the clay. Just as you influence others, others try to influence you. So to avoid being manipulated, activate your inner active brother. Ask, is this mine or a planted suggestion? You're already a master at psychic influence. You don't need this masterclass. You've done it unconsciously through emotion, through tension, through charm. Now it's time to just do it consciously, deliberately, with good, pure intention, divine intention. And the most powerful persuaders don't talk louder, okay? They speak to the part of you that's listening, even when you're silent. speak there and you own the room. Now, of course, there's different guerrilla marketing techniques and all this kind of stuff, but the bold, unapologetic rant doesn't always pierce through the unconscious. Okay. People already know what to do, but they don't do it. This is the biggest issue we have. I wrote something down the other day. I think it was a Tesla quote. It was, what was it, man? Dang, did I erase it? Oh man, it's probably not here. It was something like truth. Every truth starts off as heresy or something like that. I was diving back into that technology, guys. It's powerful. It's really powerful. But being Mr. Nice Guy coach, it doesn't work anymore. Most mainstream best practices are mediocre at best, and soon they're all going to be AI replaced. So if your process is generic, it's dead. If your coaching is very shallow, it's outdated. Okay? What actually works? Collect people's ideal beliefs and worldviews customized to each client. Create a curriculum using emotional intensity, story, pattern interrupt, repetition, metaphor, and celebrate. Because your clients are now rewired, they're more empowered, and permanently changed. You just brainwash them in a good way, and everybody wins. Brainwashing isn't evil, it's neutral power. It's already being used by governments, ads, culture, everything around you. So if you don't use it with integrity, someone else will without it. Evaluate your skills, not how much you inspire, but how deeply you rewire. Use psychological warfare for your evolution. Integrate your inner shadow and become the coach that your clients truly need you to be, not a cheerleader, a transformational alchemist, right? Most coaches are giving mindset pep talks while the world is being spiritually MK Ultra'd. Stop being a therapist for trauma loops. Start being a brain architect, right? Entertainment is a weapon of mass brainwashing. Since the dawn of civilization, storytelling has been used to decode beliefs into the masses. Movies, music, memes, mass media, right? All this stuff doesn't just entertain, it puts you in a trance and it programs you. And it works because humans are evolved to absorb beliefs as a survival mechanism, right? Suspension of disbelief equals open neural pathways. And entertainment is the Trojan horse for belief inception. So while you're not thinking your own thoughts, you've been conditioned by cartoons, rom-coms, hero myths, cultural programming, even good people unknowingly repeat elite installed beliefs about obedience, niceness, morality to keep them kind of small, right? And the lizard brain, the primal survival brain, is hardwired to adopt stories that seem emotionally satisfying, even if they ruin your life. Okay? So the harsh truth is that they don't want you to realize this. Mass entertainment is designed to shape docile, submissive workers, not sovereign leaders. Everything from lullabies to Marvel movies trains you to expect external authority, fake heroism, passive victimhood. This system doesn't want empowered minds, okay? If brainwashing built civilization, then the solution is not to avoid it, it's to use it consciously, ethically, right? And replace the destructive programming with empowering narratives that are tailored to your own tribe. Using the tools of the elite, the trance states, belief repetition, emotional charge, to restructure your reality on your own terms, right? Drain the elite's head trash, master yourself with real world tools that actually work for you and use them for good. Use them for positivity, right? Use it to create a massive shift in your own environment. Those who aren't awake to the mechanics will be enslaved by the algorithms. This is your chance to be a soul architect, my friend. Okay? Not a same script follower. All right? So this is my rant. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, keep your mind sharp and strong and believe in yourself. That's the most important advice for avoiding psychic influence is self-belief and a congruency with your own character. Don't break, as you've said something, don't be hypocritical and then contradict yourself moments after, right? Many people do this all the time. They'll say something and then moments later they'll say something else that completely contradicts the initial issue. Okay, so don't let that happen. And if that is happening, just make sure that that's a part of your character as well, right? Don't just like, if that's a flaw, you got to work your way around it and actually normalize it, neutralize it in such a way that it looks cool, right? What if you always bite your nails? What if you made it look cool, right? What if you made it look cool for you? Then you would release the resistance to that negative habit and actually be able to have the energy to let it go. But if you're like, no, that's a bad habit. I look weird. I look weak. I don't know. It's kind of bad. It's a bad habit. I don't. If you keep going in that way, guess what? You're keeping it. You get to keep that, I'm afraid, because you've charged enough energy to it that it has now a psychic, resistance associated with it, right? Thank you for the live today, brother, and all this consistent transforming fire. You got it, brother. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. To infinity and beyond. All right, let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. Let's win. Let's continue to win. Let's go.